Cause of death revealed for Anna Kepner, teen who was found under bed on cruise ship. Anna's body was finally found at about 11:17 a.m. on November 7th, tucked away under a bed inside her cabin on the Carnival Horizon, a cruise ship sailing through the Caribbean. A steward, a housekeeper, made the chilling discovery. She saw a blanket, bundled strangely, then life jackets piled on top, and underneath it all, Anna, motionless. It was not a peaceful sleep. Investigators believe Anna died by asphyxiation, strangled by a bar hold, meaning someone's arm was pressed across her neck, ABC 7 Chicago. There were 2 bruises on the side of her neck, the source says, ABC 7 Chicago. This was no accident. The FBI quickly took over the case because the ship was in international waters when she died. But even as the investigation unfolds, many questions remain. No one has officially named a suspect, yet in a court filing connected to a family custody battle, it's revealed that one of Anna's minor step-siblings might face criminal charges, AP News. Her stepmother has even invoked her right to remain silent, saying anything she says could be used against her or her child. How did Anna, a vibrant high school senior with dreams of joining the Navy, end up hidden under a bed on a ship she was supposed to enjoy? What led to such violent death in what was meant to be a relaxing family vacation? And who's responsible? As we dig in, the truth begins to look darker than anyone hoped. The morning after Anna Kepner was discovered, the ship was locked down. Officers from the FBI, working alongside local authorities, combed the cabin, scanning for fingerprints, fibers, and anything that could explain how a teen ended up dead and hidden under a bed. The passengers who saw Anna the day before were interviewed one by one. Some recalled her laughing with friends, taking selfies on the deck, completely unaware that her life was about to end in tragedy. Before the fateful cruise, Anna had been living in a tense household. Her parents had separated years earlier, and custody arrangements were complicated. Her father, Joseph Kepner, and stepmother, Mary, were raising multiple children in a home that had a history of tension and conflict. School records show Anna was a bright student, a cheerleader, and someone who loved life. But family friends whispered about arguments in the house and periods of strict discipline that sometimes left Anna feeling trapped and unheard.
On the ship, the tension that existed at home seemed to follow Anna. Witnesses noticed subtle disagreements between her and a family member during the first few days. A minor argument over cabin arrangements, who would sit where during meals, and personal belongings seemed harmless at first, but investigators later theorized that these small conflicts may have escalated quickly into something far worse. Cruise ships are usually places of joy and relaxation, with endless food, entertainment, and bright lights along the deck. But for Anna, these days were overshadowed by a sense of anxiety. Surveillance footage captured moments of her moving through the ship alone, texting frantically or looking uneasy as she walked past family members. Those around her may have assumed she was tired or stressed from school. No one imagined it was a warning of imminent danger. Investigators discovered messages on her phone that night, including cryptic text messages to friends back home. She mentioned feeling trapped and not safe, words that now carry chilling weight in light of her death. Experts analyzing the scene believe the tension on board, combined with unresolved family conflicts, may have contributed to an explosive event in her cabin. But the pivotal moment came on November 6th, the evening before her body was discovered. Security footage shows Anna entering her cabin, followed by a family member moments later. Neighbors on the ship reported hearing muffled noises, a scuffle perhaps, or a cry for help, then silence. When staff came to deliver towels the next morning, no one was aware of the horror that had unfolded behind the closed doors. By the time the steward noticed the pile under the bed, it was too late. Anna Kepner was gone, and her body had been deliberately hidden. The cabin itself told a story. Items were oddly moved, blankets piled haphazardly, and personal belongings scattered. Investigators noted signs that someone tried to stage the scene or buy time, perhaps hoping the teen's disappearance wouldn't be noticed immediately. The deliberate concealment under the bed pointed to panic, fear, and a shocking attempt to cover up what had just occurred. As the FBI continued questioning family members, conflicting statements began to emerge. One minor step-sibling reported giving inconsistent accounts, claiming at different times that Anna had been upset alone in the room and that she had been in another part of the ship entirely. The stepmother invoked her Fifth Amendment rights in court filings, refusing to answer questions that might implicate herself or her children.
These legal maneuvers left investigators navigating a maze of lies and half-truths, trying to untangle the moments leading to Anna's death.
Meanwhile, the cruise company worked closely with law enforcement. The Carnival Horizon was diverted to port once authorities deemed it necessary, so Anna's body could be examined properly and the investigation could proceed without interruption. News of the incident rippled quickly through social media, with friends, classmates, and strangers expressing shock and grief. "She was always so full of life," one classmate posted. "I can't believe this happened." By nightfall, authorities had gathered enough preliminary evidence to suggest that Anna's death was no accident. Medical reports pointed clearly to asphyxiation. Witness statements and surveillance footage hinted at a confrontation within the cabin, and the presence of multiple family members with access to the room cast suspicion widely, creating a tense and uncertain atmosphere on board the ship. But just when investigators thought they had begun to piece together the sequence of events, a shocking twist emerged. Evidence from the cabin suggested that someone had tried to erase digital traces of what happened. Phones were wiped, messages deleted, and security footage appeared to have gaps. The question now became not just who was responsible for Anna's death, but also who was attempting to cover it up and why. As night settled over the ship, the mystery deepened. Passengers whispered about the hidden teen under the bed, and the corridors, once bustling with laughter and music, felt heavy with tension. Every unanswered question made the next day's investigation more urgent. And in that moment, Anna Kepner's story, which had started as a family vacation, had turned into a chilling puzzle with pieces scattered across the cabin, the ship, and the sea itself. The tension on the Carnival Horizon reached its peak as investigators worked tirelessly to uncover the truth behind Anna Kepner's death. For days, the ship had been locked down, passengers questioned, cabins searched, and every piece of digital evidence examined. But one discovery sent shockwaves through the case. The phone belonging to Anna's minor step-sibling had been deliberately wiped, removing messages and call logs from the night she died. Experts in digital forensics were able to recover fragments of messages. Some revealed escalating arguments in the cabin, Anna pleading for space, and responses that hinted at anger and threats. Investigators began to piece together that the conflict had started small, a disagreement over chores and cabin arrangements, but tension had spiraled into something violent. As authorities continued interrogating the family, the stepmother, Mary, continued to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights, refusing to testify. The family's conflicting statements and attempts to hide information painted a grim picture. Investigators now believed that Anna's death was not accidental, and someone on the ship had intentionally tried to cover up the crime.
Medical examiners confirmed the cause of death: asphyxiation, consistent with strangulation. Bruises on her neck matched the theory of a struggle. Toxicology reports showed no drugs or alcohol in her system, ruling out any impairment that could have contributed to her death. The clarity of the medical evidence left little doubt that Anna had been murdered. The breakthrough came when a fellow passenger, a friend of Anna's, came forward with critical testimony. She remembered hearing muffled screams and movement from Anna's cabin late at night. She had dismissed it at the time as ordinary teenage noise, but realized the gravity of the situation once news broke of Anna's death. Her account helped investigators establish a timeline of events. Authorities narrowed in on a primary suspect, Anna's minor step-sibling. The combination of inconsistent statements, deleted messages, and the presence in the cabin during the time of death made this individual the focus of the investigation. Criminal charges were being prepared, and the FBI worked to gather sufficient evidence to build a case strong enough to stand in court. Outside the cabin, the cruise ship resumed normal operations, but the atmosphere remained somber. Passengers and crew struggled to process that such violence had occurred on a vacation meant for enjoyment. Media coverage amplified the story, with outlets across the country reporting the tragedy. Friends and classmates of Anna organized vigils, expressing shock and grief over the loss of a young life cut tragically short.
Despite the horror of the murder, the investigation revealed a larger pattern. Hidden tension within the family had escalated unchecked. Authorities noted that previous disputes and lack of supervision may have contributed to the deadly confrontation. Experts in adolescent psychology commented that young teens can act impulsively during intense arguments, but they emphasized that this did not excuse the actions that led to Anna's death. In the weeks that followed, legal proceedings moved forward. The step-sibling was formally charged, and the case began the long process of examination in court. The stepmother's refusal to cooperate added complexity, but prosecutors continued to build their case, relying on physical evidence, forensic analysis, digital footprints, and eyewitness testimony. The legacy of Anna Kepner's story has become a cautionary tale about hidden family tensions, the importance of communication, and the dangers of unchecked anger. Her life, full of promise, ambition, and dreams, ended abruptly on a cruise meant for fun and relaxation. The efforts of law enforcement, medical examiners, and forensic experts ensured that the truth behind her death would not remain buried, even if some of the actions that led to it remain heartbreaking.
As the courtroom prepares for proceedings and the family grapples with the tragedy, Anna's story continues to remind the public of the fragile nature of life and the devastating consequences that can arise when conflict turns violent. She will be remembered not just for the tragedy, but for the young, vibrant person she was, whose life ended far too soon. Her case, while resolved in terms of cause of death and responsibility, leaves lingering questions about accountability, family dynamics, and how such tragedies can be prevented in the future. The cruise ship, once a site of celebration, now stands as a silent witness to a crime that shocked the world, a reminder that even the happiest journeys can take a dark turn in an instant. The investigation into Anna Kepner's death concludes here, but the story resonates as a chilling true crime reminder. Violence can erupt in the most unexpected places, and every small warning sign matters.